Welcome back to my channel. Guys, it's another beautiful Friday, which means we're going to talk about kitchens. And today I want to show you these amazing after pictures of this stunning modern inspired farmhouse design we've installed in Tacoma, Washington, and also show you about the materials we've selected for this project. Furthermore, I think we need to dig deeper into the different design elements that really helped make this project stand out like it did. And furthermore, watch this video because you'll find all of the selections in the very end to use these materials on your own project coming up. And really quick, before we get started, make sure to subscribe to my channel where I teach you all of the ins and outs on kitchen design and remodeling so you can handle and tackle your own kitchen. Everyone, my name is Kirsten Cobb, kitchen designer with King's Kitchen, your kitchen design and remodeling team in Tacoma, Washington. Now let's get started. First off, I know the video says before and afters, but realistically, these are after pictures because this project was a new construction project. So we worked with our client on designing several different rooms and designing all the cabinetry and the finishes with them. And they were really set on what they wanted in the house, from the exterior all the way to the interior, to the lighting fixtures. Everything really represented this modern inspired farmhouse design. So to achieve this look, we had to switch up a few design elements that would be more common on your traditional farmhouse style and make them feel more modern, right? So let's take a look at the kitchen here. This meant in this kitchen, we had to change up a few items that would be very traditional in your standard farmhouse design. So for your cabinets, obviously there is nothing in this world that stands more for farmhouse design than your good old shaker detailed door style, which as you can see here, we've used in the entire kitchen and really in the remainder of the home. But not every shaker door style is the same. So in this kitchen, as you can see, we did use a shaker door style, but like I said, they're not all the same. And we ended up using this guy. So this is at first glance, kind of standard shaker door style, but really, when it comes to these details, there's a couple of things you want to remember. First off, there's different sizes for your detail. So your stile and rail, so this is the detail, right? Your stile and rail here, they can be of different thicknesses. And in my opinion, more traditional looks are chunkier. They're like a 3-inch, for example, door style. But in this case, we went with a door that had a thinner profile a bit. This is a 2.5-inch frame. So I think it looks more timeless. Now, you can go a lot more modern if you were to do your slab drawers all with a flat style. So you can choose to have a flat drawer front, and that gives you a lot more flat panels in your kitchen, which then creates a more modern look. But again, we were really set on having that elegant feature in there. So it couldn't look too modern, couldn't be traditional. It needed to be like right in between, almost transitional, but really give it that fresh look, right? So this cabinet line was actually locally made for us, custom, per all of our drawings and our specifications just for this project, okay? And that doesn't mean necessarily that it's crazy in cost. It just means that we work with a lot of cabinet lines, and sometimes because there is maybe one element, and for us it was really the vent hood, because there is a certain element that we couldn't get done with this specific cabinet line, we might switch it up and then go and talk to our custom cabinet maker. And as long as you know what you're doing, I think, and you're not going like crazy on every single thing and custom on every single thing, it doesn't mean it's gonna be mean to your budget. It's just they were able to make us that vent hood that we wanted to our drawings. So that's why in this case we worked with a local custom cabinet manufacturer, and it worked out just absolutely stunning. Now, if we look at this kitchen again in greater detail, there's a couple of things I want to point out that really helped get us to the achieved look that we wanted, which, for example, was we wanted some trim details, but we didn't want them to feel too heavy. So we went with a medium-sized crown, for example. We did just a basic shoe molding all around the perimeter, but then went back in and said, hey, we want a little bit more detail around the sink base. So what you see right here is that we've added a valance to the sink base, and you can really make that pop if you pull the entire section about 1.5 inches away from the wall. And then when you get your countertops installed and you create this little bump out that looks, just to me, is like a really cool eye catcher. Then another thing to kind of just throw in there is the fact that you have to understand that everybody works with a budget. So some budgets are just bigger than others. That's the fact. But every single person, well, okay, maybe not everybody, but like most people, really they work with a budget. And if you are honest with the people you're working with, your designers, your contractors, and you can tell them exactly how much you want to spend, where is it going to start to hurt, like you really don't want to spend more than this, but what do you really want to achieve for that budget, now you can give the professionals kind of the freedom to distribute your budget how they think it makes the most sense, right? So in this case, we went in and we said, okay, we wanted to keep the trim molding along the perimeter a little bit more simple, but therefore take a look at the island. We took our budget and we spent it on the island and we spent it on the vent hood. And I think that was a really smart choice because we were able to incorporate these really cool features. So the island, we went in and we've created more detail. We've added these posts. We've added matching detailed shaker panels to the sides and to the back to really give it that dimension of a solid piece of furniture in your kitchen. Like you can't move this. This is solid. This is going to be timeless. It's going to be here for years and years to come. Now, additionally, we've added more trim molding around the base, and I just love doing that. It's a more detailed trim molding, and our customers really, really loved it, which makes me even more happy afterwards. And then here in the back, you can see along the range wall, we've added a custom vent hood. And this vent hood turned out so stunning. It was so much work, but it's absolutely worth it, and it really makes this kitchen. I like to be very transparent on how these kitchens get designed and installed because every single kitchen is different and we need to solve different problems in every space. So in this case, I don't know if you have noticed it, if you haven't noticed it, but the initial blueprints didn't have a soffit. So when we initially designed the kitchen, there was no soffit in the back. And then halfway through, our customer approached us and said, hey, the builder, we just have to make these changes and we have to add a soffit. Now, true, they were really sad about that because not necessarily because there's a soffit, just the fact that they were scared the soffit is going to kind of ruin the look and the feel of this kitchen to have it look elegant. Because you can kind of think of soffits in an old school way and it just don't look that pretty. But we were able to create this custom vent hood and then have it installed to kind of work around the soffit. And I think the way the vent hood is sitting, it kind of lets the soffit disappear in the background. And I'm just so happy of how it turned out because so you just have to experiment and do those kind of things. And that's why you have to make sure you work with a really good team because you don't want to just experiment and then it doesn't work out, right? So at this point, I also have to make a huge shout out to our cabinet installer, John, with Tartan Covers, LLC, because we always come up with these crazy ideas and sketches, and this poor guy has to figure out how to get it all installed. So again, he's so talented and he did such an amazing job to make our sketches kind of come to reality in this kitchen. So I'm just so happy how everything turned out. And furthermore, what really counts in the end is that our customers were just super, super happy and excited for how everything turned out. Now, additionally, for function in this kitchen, we've added a utensil pullout to the left of the range, as well as a double waste pullout unit to the right of the sink base. And I really love adding these waste or trash pullouts next to your sink. It's just so clean not to have the trash can somewhere exposed. It helps with animals because my dogs sure constantly want to get into the trash, so now it's hidden. But it's also so functional to have the trash right next to your sink. I mean, if your trash sits further away from the sink and you're having wet hands and things drip and you have to go to your sink, this makes it so clean and functional. And the same with the accessories around the range. It's a perfect station, cooking station, to have everything organized how you need it so your kitchen can work with you and not just you're having to work around your kitchen. Another great thing I love to do and our team loves to do is to find a dedicated spot for those microwaves. And at first glance, you couldn't even see it because we were able to work with a built-in microwave, which we then hid within the island front. So it's facing the range and sitting within the island. So that's a really nice spot. You mostly want to work with a microwave drawer in this situation because they're so beautiful and sturdy to make this really functional. For the countertops, we really went back and forth a lot due to all of the beautiful things my customers seen. And obviously when you're building a new construction, if you ever have done so, it's very common that you get started and everything is ending up more as originally planned. And especially in the Pacific Northwest, unfortunately, building permits and different things here are just constantly rising. So we try to work around our budget a little bit and where should we put it. But once we've seen Pentel's Mysterio quartz, which is one of the most stunning marble-looking quartzes ever, we were all set. We all said this is the winner. This is what we have to do, and we really ended up using this countertop in almost the entire house, every room except of the laundry. And this is it. So this is a sample of Mysterio polished by Pentel. And it's just so subtle and elegant and timeless. It's really, we do it on so many projects and it never disappoints. And it's just a really, really great color to look at if you're working on your kitchen remodel. This is one of our absolute go-to colors. So here it is again, Mysterio. This is the polished version. You can also get it in a honed version. And it's just one of our favorites. So back to this kitchen. As you can see, we did the Mysterio polished. We kept it very rectangular around the island. So even though there are columns that kind of bump out, we could have bumped out the columns on the island, but in this case we wanted to keep it kind of clean, and we only have that bump out on the sink base that adds just a little bit of more detail. Another thing to kind of remember in this kitchen is we just kept it with the standard 3 cm thickness. So that's your standard quartz thickness that you can use. We didn't play around here or get all funky. We kept it with a 3 cm, and then we also used a standard eased square edge detail for the countertops that is just absolutely timeless and free. So in most cases, an eased edge detail is free of charge. Another very common design element for your traditional farmhouse kitchens is a flat white subway tile. It's mostly 3x6 in a polished finish with a heavy, heavy dark grout line. And that really makes the tile pop, and it kind of frames the whole shapes of it, right? So again, our customer really wanted a modern emphasized design, but keep it elegant. So instead of that flat tile, we went with a more hand-woven looking subway tile. So that's what she decided on. But so it looks like handmade, but then we sit it really tightly without a heavy grout line, and the grout color almost disappears between the tiles rather than framing it. And these are just some examples of tiles that look like that. So they are, as you can see, they're not straight. They're more hand woven and shaped. And I'll show you in the picture again of the kitchen in a second. The light reflects within them. So they are, here you can actually see the light reflect a little bit. So they're almost straight, but because they're woven in the front, it doesn't really look straight when they're installed. And then you can see the front is pillowed on these tiles, and it just looks so nice how the light kind of reflects in them. And then back here in the picture, you see again on the back wall how that light reflects against them, and it just gives you such a cool look, and it looks very timeless. Another really fun thing to look at in this kitchen is the tile feature we have here in the back of the range wall. And this looks really, really great if you're working with a slide-in range or you're working with a cooktop. Obviously, if you have a microwave mounted if you have a microwave vent that's mounted above the range, I wouldn't really recommend that because you don't have a lot of space. But with a custom vent hood like that, or even a free hanging, like a wall mounted vent hood, this detail works really, really well. And it's just another kind of eye catcher for somebody to walk in and look at your kitchen. And then the hardware was another selection, of course, we had to work on for this project. And in this kitchen, in the end, our customer selected a matte black handle and knob combination throughout the kitchen. So these pulls and knobs have just enough curve, in my opinion, to feel elegant and transitional, but not have that traditional touch. And here is just another close-up of this pull. It's by Top Knobs. I hope you're seeing that right. And as you can see, it comes in different finishes, lots of different finishes. It's called the Ascendra pull, and we have picked a matching knob with that. And like I said, I'll have all the details for you guys listed below, so you can find these cool items for your own kitchen. And we just really like this guy. It's just perfect. All right. Then let's take a look at some of the other rooms. So that kind of completes the kitchen, but let's take a look at the other rooms. They're very, very similar, just small different details. So take a look at who do we have next here? The powder vanity. So the powder room, this is just a quick shot of the powder room because it was so small, it was hard to get a good angle of this picture. But as you can see, the powder room is where I love to tell people to be a little bit more like adventurous, right? Because that's where your guests will be. So whatever you do in your master, usually you only get to see that. So when you want to be a little bit funky and adventurous, do it in your powder room. It's a small space. It's usually just one vanity. And as you can see here, we actually went with a Belmont cabinet in a black. And I think it just looks so stunning. And then our customer actually used this vintage mirror that was by her grandma that I think is just really sweet that she was able to incorporate that into her new construction home. And then next, we'll take a look at the upstairs bath. This is the hall bath. So basically everything the same as in the kitchen, just the hardware. We changed it from a matte black just to a satin nickel finish, and that way it goes along with the light fixtures and the plumbing selections. And then here we have a picture of the master bath, and here it's the same thing too. Just the hardware, we changed up the finish to the satin nickel to match again the plumbing fixtures. Now, last but not least, we also have a really fun and functional laundry room, which is right here. And this was the only room we didn't end up with our Pentel quartz simply for budget reasons. And also not a lot of people are going to see this laundry room but yourself. And the fact that you have a stunning quartz in here already gives it that lift. So there is no need to go overboard. I'd rather take that money that you're saving on this countertop and spend it somewhere else where it's going to make more sense. So just being wise about where you're spending your dollars is a big factor. And I love to keep that in mind. So the color we've used here on the countertops, this gray color, is a little bit more budget friendly. It's called Teltos Bianco Granglia. And again, I will have all of the selections listed for you below if you want to take a look at them. Overall, this completes our after pictures of this house, and I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Furthermore, I hope you guys found some inspiration and it helped you kind of guide you if you like, oh, I want to do a farmhouse style, but I wasn't sure what details to choose, or if I wanted it a little bit more traditional, or have you ever seen a more modern inspired farmhouse style? Now you did. Furthermore, there are a ton of other kitchen design styles out there. And I feel like people just don't know what they're all called, you know, mid-century modern, and it's just so many. So step by step, we're adding templates to our website that give you almost like a guidance on, hey, this is what I want to achieve, this name, this look like a coastal kitchen, for example. And then this is your guideline on this template on how to achieve that. So make sure to head onto our website, take a look at it, sign up on the email, and then you'll get notified when we add like new templates, and you can use them for your own kitchen remodel, okay? So like I said before, I'm having all of our selections listed below, but if something's missing, or you just have a question on this project or on your project that kind of goes along with this project, feel free to drop your comments or questions below, and I will get them answered as fast as I can. And make sure to subscribe to our channel. I release videos every Friday with my team, and we talk about kitchen design remodeling. I like to teach you all the ins and outs of it so you can hopefully tackle your own kitchen very successfully. And don't forget to hit the little bell. This way you'll get notified whenever we release new videos for you guys, okay? Other than that, thank you so much for watching. It's Friday. I hope everybody's having a good time and everybody's making great plans for the weekend. And then I will see you guys next week.